Hi guys, this is Thorsten and Luigi from crypto-rockstars.
Hi.
We're speaking with Alex today, who's a content manager at Verge. Hi Alex, how are you doing today? And can you please explain me your nickname? Alex Verge Ninja.
So hi everyone. My name is Alex. You probably know me as XVG Ninja. So basically, when I joined Verge Telegram in December 2017, I was, just a community at large member, but I enjoyed talking with the people that were there full time. So I started helping out here and there, making sure people had information that they needed to, or I would DM the people that knew more than me at the time. I wasn't core, I wasn't admin, I wasn't a moderator. So I started helping people who had just how to work with our wallets or who had technical issues. I would find the people that could answer the questions. Eventually, because of that attitude, I became an admin and a moderator. And while I was admin and a moderator, somebody kept joking, "Oh, you're a ninja." At the time, I had called myself Momofuku, which is a restaurant that I really admire because they had good food. But basically they're like, "You're more of a ninja than an eater because you're always everywhere. You're online 24/7. You can ask my girlfriend. She can attest that I was online 24/7.
Like us.
Yeah, exactly. Once you're addicted to crypto, it's like, can I put a screen in the shower so I can check
Yes.
Check the rates, yeah.
So basically the community kept referring me to as a ninja because I'd come out of the blue and I'd just be like, well, why don't we do this, this, and this? And if we explain it like this, it's better. And I have this habit of just showing up at the right time and just dumping an idea on them, and it's the right idea for the situation. Cool. So people are like, "You're a ninja. You're everywhere. You can do everything." So it became,
stuck.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes I want a different name, but that's how I'm known, so I'll stick to it.
That's good introduction. Could you say, could you tell us a little bit about your background, who you are and how you came to Verge, or what are you doing actually right now for Verge? What are your ambition? And maybe then later on, why Verge or where it comes from?
Sure. Basically, before joining Verge, I used to work for a bank. So I was a private banker for a Canadian bank. And basically, I did everything from bank accounts to credit cards to personal loans. And
can I stop you right there? Yeah. Can I just have you stand up and show people your shirt? And then you tell them you are a banker again.
Ramen, beef.
All right. So anyone has any more questions about this guy? He's ultra cool. Okay, I love it. So sorry for that, but that was just, I was thinking, what, a banker?
It's hilarious.
Okay. We only have one life. We can't be too serious.
All right, so go on. Sorry for interruption.
No worries. So yeah, basically, while working at the bank, that's when I started getting into crypto because I like this concept of moving money without the delays. So in Canada, we have the fastest way to move money between people is Interact e-transfers. So depending on your banking relationship, you can move up to $3,000 with just an email. So that's one of the fastest ways you can move money, short of going to an ATM, withdrawing money and giving the person actual cash. So, and well, we're all in crypto, but before I was in crypto, I was always so I can send a picture of myself to anybody in anywhere on the planet and have it printed. I can send something to the International Space Station. It takes 12 minutes and they can print it there. Yet I want to move valuable numbers to Australia and I have to pay, I don't know, for my friend just wired from Mexico to Norway, 5,000 euros, and he had $270 of fees. I'm just this was mind-boggling to me, and I worked for a bank. So these were always questions. I was you can deposit a check with your phone, but then you have to wait 7 days to be able to access the funds. It's just
mind-blowing.
It's just the amount of things I can do instantly. I can go through the last 12 years of your credit card statements, and not be able to move money in the same like time span. It just, it mind boggled me. And to go back to credit card statements, I'm a bank employee. I have access to all of that because you're talking to me on the phone, because that's what you need to have an issue with that resolved. So I was just like, the banks I work for, I trust them. Like, they have a good track record. They're like beautiful in terms of like treating people with respect and human dignity, which is great, but not all the banks have that. So the fact that this entire network is built on they know everything from you tends to terrify me. So that's what brought me into Verge, and the fact that like Verge wants to bring privacy as an option for people. So I think that really was the key motivator for me to join them.
All right. And why is Verge relevant, and what's the privacy relevant why is the privacy relevant transaction?
And who started the community?
So, okay. Well, why is Verge relevant? Mostly today we have movements like delete Facebook. We have journalists that get killed. We have like people tracking everything you do. Actually, today, Walmart just patented a device that can listen to people at the checkout, to listen to the conversations and to see what happens. Like, privacy is important because of these things. Companies make money. Like, I don't mind selling you guys my privacy if you're going to give me money, but Facebook and Google make millions of dollars. And
you get nothing.
And I'm not getting any money. I'm getting the convenience of having, like, I have a Google Home in my apartment. I have the convenience of, it can turn off and on the lights for me and it can play Spotify. But like, what's the market value of Google and what's my return? Nothing. I paid $50.
Your return is the advertising. You get to see the advertising, exactly. Because you're the product.
Advertise
your data is the product,
Yeah, the people need to realize that you're actually not the user, but the product.
The product, yeah.
Exactly. So I think Verge is relevant for that. Like, we have a mindset to build a cryptocurrency that's designed for everyday use. So yes, our wallets right now are like a little bit more antiquated and they're a little bit hard to work, but the next generation wallets have on iOS, we have the share feature that's going to come out. So, instead of having to partner with a text messaging company like other cryptos, you have a share feature. So you can share your address directly through a text message and email, WhatsApp. So you have like really convenient of using crypto for everyday transaction. So this is what we're aiming for. So that's why we're relevant. So for people who aren't aware, to answer the question of who started Verge, Justin Vendetta is the like main programmer of the blockchain. So he's developed Verge with a bunch of different people throughout the years. Like, people come and go, they program something and then they leave because it's open source. So that's the main attraction for it. So then you have crypto-rockstars, who created it's called the black paper, which is like our white paper for privacy. So he's the main writer of it.
Cool name,
yeah. So that's the community basically built itself. There was no pre-mine. So Justin, crypto-rockstars, and the early founders of Verge didn't pre-mine it and then say, hey guys, we're going to like keep this amount for ourselves. Like, it was open for everybody. We have 5 mining algorithms, so everybody could mine from the start to make it more profitable. We never had an ICO, so it's not like we get paid for what we do. Everybody's a volunteer. We pay out of our own pocket to have Verge branded gear. The Verge, like, I have a Verge T-shirt that I bought. Down to that.
Okay, so let me ask you a different question, because when you say Verge is intended to be a common payment system, what I gather is that you're actually working on wallets right now. But if you intend to make this commonplace payment system, I think you would have to work on shopping cart integrations and vendor or POS integrations, stuff like that. Are you working on that, or? As
well. Right now, if you visit vergecurrency.com/vendors, we have 150 different vendors that accept Verge. We have through Pundi, we have PundiX. We have 10,000 merchants that can accept crypto, including Verge, through Colombia, if I'm not mistaken. We just partnered with NetSense. which has a gateway, which is really cool. So let's say I send you $200, 200 euros worth of Verge. We're both in Germany, right? So I send you 200 euros worth of Verge. As a merchant, you will get 200 euros right away. So you can accept crypto on your store, but you get paid in fiat. So
Yeah,
for a lot of
which is I think one of the main criteria points that you have to offer for merchants, because, or for vendors, because they won't accept in crypto. They won't have the exact euro amount or dollar amount, including the VAT. Yeah.
Until their suppliers start accepting crypto.
Until then, yeah. Or the tax system is a little bit less complicated, and you can just add crypto to your tax account.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay with stealth addresses to the government.
Yeah, okay.
So they know how much taxes I pay. No one else can see.
Okay.
That day is not yet.
Let me ask you another question. How different is Verge to, let's say, Dash or Monero, who are the other well-known privacy coins? What's the main difference?
So, where did it came from? Maybe also, what was the origin?
Verge was built off of Peercoin. So it was an earlier proof of work coin that was a fork of Bitcoin itself. So it forked out of Peercoin. At the time, it was called Dogecoin Dark. So there's a lot of misconception that Verge came from Dogecoin. It did not. It came from Peercoin. It changed its name to Verge. It rebranded to make sure that the misconception, there you go, is no longer relevant. Basically, the main difference, I think, is the speed. Most cryptos take a while to get transactions going. Verge, even though it has huge numbers, so the total amount of Verge when it's done being mined will be 16,500,000,000. It's still really fast. So I could send you a payment and you would receive it within like our conversation. So there's no like delay. High loading times. There's no wait period. The other thing is, whereas you mentioned Monero has it's no longer optional for you. You have to go through Ring CT to make transactions. So Verge, you have the option to hide your location IP with Tor built in. So right now, the Android app, you need to use Orbot as the Tor bridge. But our newer generations app have Tor built in. So there's just a switch for you to toggle on and off if you want transactions to go through Tor. So that's a basic level of privacy. So you can be at McDonald's. Let's say McDonald's accepts Verge through NetSense. You can be at McDonald's, tap to pay, and you have Tor built in. So they don't know that you're at that McDonald's. Like McDonald's will receive a payment. You've made the payment, but people can't track your wallet to McDonald's. You could turn it off if you want to tell the world you're buying at McDonald's right now, but why would you? And then a second layer of privacy that we have is stealth address. So stores are still on the public ledger. So transactions are still publicly made. But let's say you were to send Luigi a transaction through stealth address. You would see, like, people could see the money leaving your wallet, but they wouldn't know that it went to Luigi. So it's a private transaction on a public ledger. So this allows people to have a further level of privacy. And with the new code base that comes out, we're also including our own version of Ring CT to protect the sender when they're transacting.
Okay, because I think one of the main disadvantages when you speak about digital payments in general is that everyone knows where, who bought what, where, when, and for how much. Yeah. So if you walk to a store and pay with a $10 bill, then no one has to know your name. You have to just pay it, and you can take the goods with you anyway. So, and that is something that I'm actually missing in digital payments. And I think all of the privacy coins at least give me some opportunity to work with that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
This leads us to the next question, which is, because some people maybe would ask, why do I need a privacy coin? I think the better question is, why is privacy relevant in a transaction, and how it aims to be built for everyday use? So we should get a solution for daily life. Say, okay, we want to keep our privacy, but we want to use the privacy coin also in daily life without being sued for saying, okay, you're kind of doing something wrong. So because privacy is relevant, yeah. Or would you agree? What would you say? Well,
I have the best example right now. So my home country, Canada, legalized marijuana. But if you buy marijuana and you want to go to the US, you're barred. Like if they ask you, have you bought or consumed marijuana? You can lie. If you get caught, you don't want to get caught. So yeah,
like nobody wants to get caught in the US having done something wrong.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not about you buying it and trying to bring it into the US. It's just you as a private person going to a store, buying legal marijuana, smoking it in front of the TV, and then deciding, hey, I want to go to Florida, which a lot of Canadians, at least from the French part of Canada, it's where we go in the winter, like snowbirds. That's what we do. We just go down to Florida, chill in the summer. But now all of a sudden it's like, yeah, I can't consume legal marijuana in my own country because another country says it's illegal and I'm not allowed to visit. So
it's kind of weird.
If I use my credit card, not to say that I would lie, but if somebody were to use their credit card and then lie at the border, but they have access to your credit card statement, like, yeah, it's terrible. Like, as a private person, the government should not have a right to tell you what you can or can't do that's legal. If it's legal, you have full right to do it, and no one has the right to spy you for it or judge you for it. So that's, for me, that's the most important part of why we need privacy and transaction for everyday use. The fact that I buy watermelon and rum at the same time should be no one's concern but myself and the people who are going to enjoy this nice rum watermelon. But
exactly,
marketers should not know it. The store doesn't have to know it unless I want to. Like some stores give you cashback points for like giving you your postal code so that they can know what you buy. Sure, give me cashback points. I might tell you what I buy.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Besides that, it's my personal concern and I don't want anybody else to know.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's really a strong point.
Yeah.
It's really what's missing in this digital transactions, that just have the option to be anonymous, to be private.
Should be head of decision. So
yeah, exactly.
That's your own decision to do it or not.
Yeah, exactly. So the choice of privacy should be every person. Every person should have that choice, and that's what Verge wants to do. We're not telling people you have to be private, but we're saying, hey, guys, this is privacy. This is the advantage you have from having your own privacy. And we're trying to offer it to people. And we're building a crypto project that has speedy, efficient transaction that rivals some of the fastest payment processing. With RSK, we're going to rival payment processing that are traditional. And we're doing it for in a private setting. So it's super important.
That sounds cool. So, any more questions?
Yeah, maybe another question concerning the community. Could you tell us a little bit more about the community? Who is the community? You mentioned MindGeek before. MindGeek, yeah. How that happened?
Yeah, well, the community is awesome. That's the first thing I have to say. So, Verge community is very addictive. There's so many people from so many different backgrounds. It's really impressive. I've made friends through different crypto projects because of the Verge community. I have friends, I would say, all over the planet because of how massive we are. So to give a rough estimate, we're around 800,000 people in the Verge community. So it's a really big community. So yeah, it's really really impressive. MindGeek is the owner of 80% of adult entertainment traffic, so they're bigger known as Pornhub. So MindGeek approached Verge to have us listed as their first payment method through Pornhub and different websites, because people were emailing them, "Hey, I want to pay with Verge." So users
they want to be private, They don't want their spouses to know what they're doing online.
Yeah, you don't want to see it on your credit card statement.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's a realistic use case, right? So
exactly.
It's one of the biggest industries in the world.
One of the biggest industries, right? Yeah.
And still, it's a taboo topic, right? So on the other hand, so it's really an issue which should be solved, and then maybe that could be a good start to do like that.
Yeah. And that's basically what happened. So this community of like all these people started emailing, hey, I want to pay with Verge, I want to pay with Verge. And they came around and they were like, okay, so how do we list you guys? And that's how we got the deal going.
And it's also a kind of good social proof. I mean, in the past, when you look at the past, and many solutions which then were rolled out all over the world in different industries, they started after having been accepted in the porn world.
Yeah, internet,
exactly.
Home VHS, DVDs.
Exactly,
like,
yeah. It might seem to be like, this is a strange topic, talking about Pornhub and something like that, but actually it's one of the most relevant industries where a lot of money is going through. And as you just said, maybe you don't want to have your bank or your family members seeing your credit card statements and thinking, okay, what's he doing on this website?
Oh my God, what is wrong with my son?
Yeah.
Well, here's another thing. One of the other big players of MindGeek is Traffic Junkie. And Traffic Junkie is to buy ad space in that industry. And you can also pay with Verge. So like that's also something that's really cool. So it's like we have the adult industry, but both like there's like the personal consumption and also the companies that want to advertise their stuff can also do a private transaction through Verge and no longer have to list it through traditional fiat methods. So of course it'll be in the company books, but it won't go through the like channel of everybody's looking, hey, this is what's going on.
Okay, sounds really interesting. Yeah, actually, we were looking at some so-called porn coins when we were doing research right for when we started the organization for the conference, but there wasn't really any working solution. So we ditched that, and it's very interesting to see that they, on the other hand, the industry itself came to you as one of the leading cryptocurrencies out there. And well, connect from their side. Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah, that's the power of community, though, because we're not paid to do it. People do it because they're passionate. There was a Spotify. People started spamming Spotify to link us as a payment, and then Spotify turned around and we're not a registered company. So I think they have there's still organizational problems when it comes to partnering with a group of people. Like all of us are just individuals all over the planet just doing their thing. So it's harder for a company to understand the power of decentralized community when they're like, okay, you guys are, so who's in charge? And I can say, okay, well, Justin's in charge of the blockchain, crypto-rockstars in charge of the white paper, Mark Me is in charge of the desktop wallet, Sven is the iOS wallet. We do our thing. We work together. We help each other. We're like a family, but everybody's kind of doing their own thing, and somehow it's all coming in together. And it's just really it's fantastic to see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
It certainly has some startup culture potential right there. Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't need this single point of contact anymore. It's person to point at and say, you're responsible for that.
Yeah, so, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Reddit, we're on we're everywhere. Telegram, Discord. People can just come in and be like, hey, I like your project. Can you help me integrate? NetSense has a really well done merchant integration. So now we refer it to that. But before we used coin payments mostly. And we would do everybody that I know downloaded coin payments on their own just to see how it works. So we could tell merchants, hey, this is how you install it. This is how you can do it. Or you can install a wallet, smaller stores can install a wallet, print a paper wallet, and then just receive directly, print a QR code, print your public address, things like that. Right. So we would take our time to do it. And now it's starting to come around where we have vendors, suppliers, merchant gateways that are all coming to us. And we're working with them to make sure that it has a 360 environment to really help the merchant. So the next big step for mass adoption for us will be the new wallets, the user-friendly approaches, the new code base.
All right. That would have been my next question. How will you do you move forward with this one? Yeah.
Yeah, our wallets. Like I have the Android wallet on my phone, but I'm really looking forward. Like the new wallets are night and day compared to the old wallets. Like it's so exciting.
Kind of amazing times are coming. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're still one of the early adopters. I think if this whole crypto thing if people have wrapped their heads around this, yeah, they will realize that there's so much more potential, and that it's much more, it makes much more sense to pay with crypto in international environments, and even, as you said, it takes too long to make bank transfer to another person. Yeah. If I get paid from an employee, from my employer, and the employee needs to wait for 3 days, and in the middle of this, the bank sits in the middle and grabs the money over the weekend and plays some bingo with it, yeah, and they get rich from it, and you don't get anything, even if they take your money for this. Then I think this is a fucked up system.
Yeah, entirely. Like you have like in Germany, actually, when I came to Germany for my visa, I had to open a Deutsche Bank account. So I wired basically 8,500 euro to get a visa, and I had to pay 100 euros to Deutsche Bank to open my account with them because I'm Auslander. So like I have to pay you money so that you can have my money, and I'm also paying on top of that. I'm paying my like wire transfer fee.
Yeah, that's
and then
banks
once I pay that wire transfer fee, I have 0 interest. In Canada, the banks are a little bit more generous. You have like 0.1% of interest, but in Germany, it's like, yeah, you have a savings account. It has no interest. You want to open an investment account, and then they invest it for you. And then if you're lucky, you have like 7% like increase throughout the year, and you're like,
yeah, that would be really, really high. Actually,
yeah.
Usually you get like 3% or something like that.
Yeah, like to me, it's mind-boggling that this is accepted and that people are okay with this.
What a weird system!
50 years of good brainwashing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like to me, it's just like that's why I looked into crypto, because I was like, okay, if I need to move money from Canada, how long does it take for me to convert it through a KYC exchange? So I use CoinSquare in Canada, and then I ship it to my Coinbase account, and then I drop it from my Coinbase account but I still have to wait 3 days for CoinSquare to accept it because of Canadian like KYC rules. So it's like,
yeah, it's too complicated. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it, crypto is not as exciting right now as it was in December and in November and October last year. Like crypto was super exciting last year. It was like hot potatoes. This year, it's a little bit more, people are more cautious, but to see that the community is still there, still rolling, still coming out with stuff, like to me, it makes me happy to know that like there's a solid community, and regardless of how the world's looking, people are still getting together and pushing forward to develop Verge and the rest of cryptocurrencies.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, Alex, so I don't have any questions anymore. I think that was an awesome interview. We've learned a lot about Verge and why you're doing this, and that people should promote you from their own pockets, and because you guys don't really earn anything doing this stuff, and you're doing a futuristic work, and which will be very important and beneficial for our whole system. So we should really try to promote this much more. And
it's all about the community.
It's all about the community.
Exactly. It's entirely about the community.
Yeah. So thank you for taking the time to explain this. Yeah. Oh, hey, thank you for your time. And
thank you for being a crypto rockstar.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for inviting me.
Yeah.